I got 5 pieces of candy. I got a chocolate bar. I got a quarter. I got a rock.
Welcome to Spooky Talk in the Burgh, the bone-chilling show where 3 students terrorize the desk and share terrifying sports takes. I'm your host, Brett Magulik, joined by Nate Fennell and Jordan Morak. And today, we have some tricks and treats prepared for you. So enter if you dare. Let's get things started here. Boo! Did I scare you? No? All right, let's try this one here then. The Steelers have lost 2 in a row and are 4-3. Scary, huh? I know I got you on that one. This Steelers unit has been struggling, especially on defense. But Mike Tomlin might think otherwise. Check out what he said in his opening presser yesterday afternoon.
You're always a little bit concerned when you're settling for field goals when you're playing good people. It seems like touchdowns is how it gets done in our business at this level. And so it was a little bit less than comfortable at halftime settling for 3 field goals. I think those drives were stopped by penalties and negative plays on 1st and 10.
So guys, is it time for Coach Tomlin to take full blame for this team's struggles? Or does it fall on more people? Jordan, what do you think about this one?
I think it falls on 2 people in particular, and I do think one of them is Mike Tomlin. But let's talk about the first person first, and that guy is Omar Khan, the Steelers GM. Listen, in the offseason, the Steelers actually made some moves, which is unusual for them. They went and they signed 34-year-old cornerback Darius Slay. They went and traded Minkah Fitzpatrick for Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, and they traded for and signed DK Metcalf to a $33 million extension. So those might look like, oh, those are some good moves. But these were, especially the corners, these were aged veterans who are not in their prime. And you can see this year, now Jalen Ramsey has made a couple good plays, especially to play against the Jets in week 1. But overall, these guys have not been the defensive punch that the Steelers need, and that's been evident with their defensive ranking this year. And with Tomlin, he is an issue because his management of the coaching with the defensive coordinators, he should have kept Brian Flores all along as a defensive coordinator and fired Terrell Austin. And then with the conservative play calls, he talked in that presser about settling for the field goals. Mike, you are the person that decides to settle for the field goals. So I'm not understanding there. All the good teams in the league are aggressive, and the Steelers just aren't.
Jordan, I'm sorry, but you're just trying to save Mike Tomlin too much here by directing some problems with Omar Khan. This is all on Mike. I mean, he has basically the complete control over roster construction. He went out and got Jalen Ramsey because that's his guy. They went out and got Darius Slay because that's his guy. This is what Mike Tomlin does. He goes out and gets his guys, and then you know what he does with his coordinators? He will get yes men. He will do whatever it takes to get guys that will just listen to what he has to say and then run the defense that he says to run. This isn't on Terrell Austin. This isn't on Omar Khan. This is on Mike Tomlin.
100% this is on Mike Tomlin here. I mean, everything at the end of the day, like Nate was saying, it all at the end of the day falls back onto Mike Tomlin. No doubt. No doubt.
Now you guys are saying this all falls back on Mike.
100%.
And Mike
absolutely.
is the one that makes all of the decisions. Before Omar Khan became the GM of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Steelers were not a team known for making moves or making trades at all. But all of a sudden, the Steelers make some moves and trades. When he gets there, it doesn't seem like a yes man thing to me, or Mike is making all of these moves. It seems like this is the Karn artist, as everyone calls him. But if you look at the standings, man, the Pittsburgh Steelers just collapsed. And they're an embarrassment.
But at the end of the day, I mean, no matter the team, you see the exact same amount of production. This team falls into the playoffs. They barely skate in. It's the exact same thing. No matter the team. They could have the best team in the league, or they could be just skating by. It's all the same. All right, let's move on here. I would first like to apologize for that jump scare in the last question. That was a little bit, I apologize. The Steelers defense. Got you again. The Terrell Austin-led Pittsburgh defense has been terrorizing Steelers fans this year. And Coach Tomlin stated in an interview that taking over play calling duties is, quote, not on the table right now. So who should be calling plays for this team? And will this impact anything? Will this change impact anything? Nate, what do you think about this one?
Well, honestly, I'm going to need to correct your read there a little bit. You said it's the Terrell Austin-led defense. It's not. It's the Mike Tomlin-led defense. Going back to what I just said, this is his defense, and he runs it throughout the week, and then the plays that Terrell Austin calls in-game are basically told to him by Mike Tomlin throughout the week leading up. I mean, how is this something that you can blame on Terrell Austin when no matter who the defensive coordinator is, you're still going to get the same result because it's all coming off of Mike Tomlin?
Buddy, Mike Tomlin has never been the Bill Belichick type of coach of where, oh, it's really Bill's defense, but he has a coordinator. Mike Tomlin has always had other people calling the defensive plays for him. This is not his defense. This is Terrell Austin's defense, and you know whose defense this should have been? I said it earlier. This should have been Brian Flores' defense. You have a man that was a great coordinator in New England and who proved himself to be a pretty good head coach in Miami, and he got the short end of the stick there. But Brian Flores, you see now what he's doing with the Minnesota Vikings. This is a guy that was a proven winner, a proven great coordinator, and they just let him walk away. And they, like I said earlier, they kept the organizational loyalty, and that is the issue here. They should have fired Terrell Austin, and they should have hired a different play caller. Nate, this is not a Mike Tomlin issue. This is a coordinator.
Don't you think that if this defense has looked so bad for 2 weeks in a row, like two guys I'd like to point out, Jamar Chase, Tucker Kraft, both force-fed in both of those games, and you didn't see this team make any adjustments, not only week by week, but during the game. You just saw these guys getting 10, 15 targets a game. You think that the coach would step in and hopefully make some changes, but you haven't seen any. It's looked the exact same.
On the head coach, though, the head coach has to also worry about adjustments on offense and special teams,
which has looked fine.
Listen,
the offense is not the problem with this team.
It is the coordinator's job to do these things. As you can see on the screen, Jordan Love, the #1 quarterback against the blitz, and the Steelers blitz at the highest rate of the year. And while, yes, Mike Tomlin, that is the issue with him. He should have checked in with the game plan. But the fact that Terrell Austin is the one actively calling these blitz plays, actively doing this over and over again against the quarterback who you know is good against the blitz, that is something I can't excuse. And that is not a Mike Tomlin thing. That's a Terrell Austin
Jordan,
thing.
I got one question for you. Throughout the week, who would you say basically runs and works with the defense more, Terrell Austin or Mike Tomlin?
I would say that Terrell Austin mainly does. I say that they work they combine with each other, but it's mainly Terrell Austin.
No, this conversation needs to end now.
Let's move on here. Let's move on. Continue with the topic of Mike Tomlin. It feels like the discussion of the Steelers parting way with Mike Tomlin has been looming for years now. With the bad stretch this team has had, will the Steelers finally do it at the end of the season? And who should replace him? Jordan, what do you think? Is there any chance he's gone?
Is there any? No, dude, come on. There is 0% chance that Mike Tomlin is gone after this season. The Steelers would need to go ahead and win, I would say, about 4 games, not just in one season, in about 2, maybe 3 seasons for Mike Tomlin to be fired. Again, this is a guy that has won this team a Super Bowl, has taken his team to another Super Bowl, and is a guy that has not had a losing season here in Pittsburgh. And the Steelers as an organization is a winning org. They are used to winning. So again, this is another problem I have with the organization, is they are going to be fine as long as Mike Tomlin keeps getting his 9 games, his 10 games. They're going to be fine with it. As long as they're not losing, it's going to take something catastrophic. There's no chance Mike gets fired. There's no chance.
Something I just really have a problem with what you said, Jordan, is the fact that this city, and particularly the Steelers mainly, are used to winning. And, you know, when it comes to the Steelers, I don't know if 9-8 every single year or 10-7 in a first-round exit is going to do it. I mean, when we think about winning, we think about playoff wins and championships. Mike Tomlin just really isn't delivering that anymore. So I'm really 50-50. I'm on the fence here. I don't really know if he's going to be gone or not. But if he is, Why don't we go back to the guy? Well, why don't we go to the guy that you brought up earlier, Bill Belichick? He's a proven winner. He wins championships. That's what he does.
It's been right now?
It's been a rough go for him.
Record right now?
Obviously, it is very clearly a different thing from the NCAA level to NFL, and this man is elite at the NFL level.
Here's the thing. Bill Belichick is an old man, okay? He's an old man. The Steelers
that can coach. He's really good at coaching.
Here's the thing.
Not the one playing.
The Steelers need a Sean McVay level, Shane Steichen level, offensive mastermind, young coach who can lead them into the future of the new NFL. They do not need someone who is stuck in the past or has philosophies from yesteryear, okay? They need someone new, because if they go to someone old, you know what that's doing? That's just reinstilling the same stuff that Tomlin does. It is the NFL is not the same as it was in 2010. It's not the same as it was before. Things are changing, and they need a fresh, young, new offensive face to change.
Hold on. I hear you saying new. Brian Flores has already been a head coach. What do you mean new?
I don't think that Brian Flores should replace Mike T.
We've talked about this one a lot. We've talked about Mike Tomlin. Everyone's gotten their frustrations out. But man, we're gonna cut this one a little short. Talking about the Steelers has been really terrifying, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna need a minute to recoup on this one, because we have a bunch more to go. When we come back, we take a break from the horror and check out how the World Series, the Penguins, and Army basketball may have some treats in store for us. So don't go anywhere.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Spooky Talk in the Burgh. The Tricks have been spooking us from Acrisure Stadium, but if we head to Fifth Avenue, Sidney Crosby and the Penguins have some treats in store for us. So let's get right into it. As we head over to PPG Paints Arena, the Pens are giving out king-size candy bars in the form of a 7-2-2 record. Their hottest start since the 2014-2015 season. Now, it's spooky season, so I do have to raise the question, is this team tricking us? How long do the Pens have to stay hot for you to buy into this team? Nate, what do you think about this one?
Well, I'm bought in already, if I'm being honest. I love this team. I love them. They got a mix of old stars and young talent, and it's all just blending together great thanks to Dan Muse. He's been electric, the goaltending's strong. I just really enjoy this team. I mean, any team that has Sidney Crosby on it, I'm in love with. And, you know, if there's him, Malkin, and Letang, if they're all still around, I am always going to be bought in on this team and always think that they can make a run. And just getting a new face in there in the locker room running the team, I think has really helped them. The identity of the team looks a lot different. They have a lot of production in terms of goal scoring spread out this year instead of just a few guys being relied upon. So I really like this team, and I think they can make a run. I think I might be buying my Stanley Cup tickets sooner than later.
You know, Nate, I'm not as certain of you right now. It's probably going to take me until about a quarter point of the season to really fully believe that this team are contenders. But the fact that right now they are ranked top 10 offensively and defensively, being ranked 7th and 9th respectively, while like you said, still having their old stars like Sid and Malkin still playing well. Malkin is top 10 in points as well as Sid. I think that this team can be really good. I'm just with an 82-game grueling season, I'm not as certain to just say that they're gonna be contenders right now. I just need to see a little bit more from them to really be certain.
I would have to agree with Jordan more on the side of this one. I think I'm gonna take this one a little bit more extreme though. I think for me personally, you guys both know, I'm a huge Pens guy. Bleed black and gold through and through. Gino, my GOAT, fantastic way to start the season. Sidney Crosby, obviously, right? But my only problem with this is these guys are old, man. I know they've got some young talent. They've got some good guys around them, but can they keep up this pace is my question. I know, like, we've seen this team start cold and then get hot. We've also seen this team start really hot and get really cold. For me, it's going to take till about Christmas or New Year's. When we get to that second half of the season, if this team is still really, really hot, if everyone is still playing the way that they've been playing right now, if everyone stays in the shape that they've been in, I'm just worried that that's not going to happen. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about it, but I would love to be on that side. But let's move up a little bit. Let's move up 376 East and head home to Bobby Moe. RMU men's and women's basketball are gearing up to start their seasons, both hitting the transfer portal this offseason. So, which RMU basketball team will show they were affected more by the transfer portal this offseason? Jordan, what do you think about this?
I'm going to go with the RMU men's basketball team. Now, I don't think they were completely burnt by the portal, right? They got some exciting players, especially some new big men to replace their bigs. They got in 7-1 Ubon Ocon from Alabama State. Deshaun Good, he is from UIND. He's 6'8". They got 6'11" sophomore Josh Hill from Arkansas State. So they got some really big guys that can help replace the likes of Alvaro Figueres and Amarion Dickinson last year. But I just do not think that this team is going to be able to replicate the magic that was last year's team. You know, it's only about every 6 or 7 years that RMU really gets a team that is really special. It can go on to compete against teams like Alabama in the March Madness tournament. That team was very close to winning last year. So while I do not think the men's team got completely burnt for, I think it definitely hurt them. And I don't think this year's team will be able to replicate the same success that last year's team did.
And Andy Toole we trust. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, there's a huge
Andy Toole
part.
we trust. Andy Toole didn't go anywhere. He's still a fantastic
part
coach.
that I think Jordan's forgetting. I mean, yeah, like you said, Andy Toole's still here. Andy Toole's in charge of building this squad. And then last year, going into the season, if I would have told you to name who the players are on the roster, you would have been confused. You would have had no idea who they are. Amarion Dickinson had 1 year here and was such an impact guy that he's now at USC. Andy Toole can do this with almost any guy now. He can bring in a loaded transfer class, make it really good, and then, you know, it'll be fine. So my take is the women's team. They're going to do exactly what you saw with the men's team last year. Bring in a good transfer class and then perform well with it. I mean, they were ranked second in the Horizon League pre-poll, and then you see this loaded transfer class they brought in. It's exciting times to be an RMU basketball fan, especially on the women's side. Chandler McCabe might be the greatest coach we have on campus right now.
I mean, it's clear that it all starts all the way up. You know, if the coaching is there, there's no telling what this team can and can't do. I mean, think about Mike Tomlin. You know, he brings in a bunch of guys and he can't do anything with them. But sorry, Andy Toole and Chandler McCabe, we've seen it before. I think with them at the helm, I think that sky's the limit for both these teams. I'm excited. I think we could see a double March Madness run out of these two teams.
Now, I'm not doubting the greatness of Andy Toole at all. I'm just saying I think that last year was a real magical moment, and I do not think that they're going to be able to do it 2 years in a row. I think that might just be a little bit unrealistic.
Yeah, so we're going to have to wait and see this one. The seasons both start in November. But let's head it back to right now. Let's head it to the baseball field. The World Series has been treating us so far this year with a series tied at 2 wins apiece, including an 18-inning classic on Monday that will go down in the history books as one of the greatest games of all time in a championship series. But what was the greatest championship game you guys have ever seen? This is a nostalgic one. Nate, what's your pick?
Well, in terms of the games I've watched, I mean, it's got to be 2016, the NCAA Men's Basketball National Championship between Villanova and North Carolina. It was an incredible back-and-forth contest the entire time, and then North Carolina led by 5 at halftime. And then just the rest of the second half, they were trading punches back and forth, like it was a Rocky movie. It was awesome. Had you on the edge of your seat, no clue who was going to win. They drained this huge shot, UNC does, and you think maybe they have a chance, and then Villanova goes down the court. Arcidiacono passes it off to Jenkins, and he buries it for one of the most electric endings you will ever see in a championship game. And don't forget, this game was loaded with talent, especially on the Villanova side. When you look at the New York Knicks these days, they've got Jalen Brunson, they got Josh Hart, there's Mikal Bridges in the league. All three of these guys were from Villanova on the same team. This team was loaded. This game was a lot of fun to watch. And even though my producer doesn't want me to mention it, the 2022 Game 3 World Series between the Astros and Phillies was another one I loved because I was there.
Ooh. Hey, listen, Nate, while I don't think it is the NCAA championship game, I agree with you that it is a 2016 basketball game. Now, let me paint you a picture. I'm in my aunt's living room at 11 years old. It's NBA Finals is tied 3-3. The GOAT LeBron James is going against the 73-9 Warriors. Okay, he's coming back from a 3-1 lead in Oracle. Okay, the craziest basketball environment I've ever seen in my life. And they win it. They win it. Legendary block by LeBron to stop the Warriors. And then you see this legendary step back three by Kyrie to bury the game, and that is a dagger. It is one of the greatest games I ever seen. You had Draymond Green go off for 32, 9, and 15. When is the last time you ever seen that? LeBron had a triple-double with 27, 11, 11. There was the block right there. Kyrie had a great game. This game had everything you wanted to it. This game had drama. It had hijinks. It had the environment. It had everything, the storyline, all.
Oh, you gotta love some basketball, man, but I think me personally, I gotta take it back to my Penguins roots, head back to when I was just a 4-year-old baby here. I gotta go with the 08-09 Game 7 Stanley Cup Final, a young Sidney Crosby against the absolutely dominant Detroit Red Wings. Absolute cinema.
I gotta say, my mom wouldn't let me watch that. She sent me to bed. I was sad.
I apologize for that. You're gonna have to go back and watch that game. It's a good one. But the cinema is not over yet. When we return on Spooky Talk in the Burgh, we go over some previous takes we had at the beginning of the month. So don't go anywhere.
You told me not to talk to strangers. You told me not to cross the street without looking both ways.
You told me not to touch the stove. You told me not to do drugs. You told me not to drink and drive.
You gave me so many messages about how to stay safe. Why didn't you keep me safe by properly storing your gun?
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's all good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Welcome back to Spooky Talk in the Burgh. Now, earlier in the month, we gave you a little taste of Spooky Talk in the Burgh. The three of us went over some big takes about how the month of October will look for some teams. If you were right, you get a sweet, sweet king-sized candy bar. But if you were wrong, expect something heavy in your trick-or-treat bag. Now, it's time to look back at our takes and get our prizes. First up, the trick. Which NFL team would trick us this month after a decent start to their season? Let's take a look.
Of which teams are real and which teams not so much. Think about it as a fun-sized candy bar. A small piece of what could be in store for the full season. But has there been any team that has tricked us so far and is going to have a ghoulish October? Nate, what do you think about this?
Anyways, the Jags, they are frauds. They stink.
I'm going to go with the Ravens, and I know that they're already bad, but I think that they can get worse.
I'm going to go with the 49ers here. Not because they're bad, but just because they are so banged up.
Well, first one, the King Bar goes to Mr. Nate Fennell with that take about the Jags.
Nate gets to take about the Jags?
I don't make the rules here.
They went 1-2, my brother. They went 1-2.
All right, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going here. The fun size, Jordan, you do get a fun size candy bar. You get a fun size, so you still get a little treat.
I dropped it.
And unfortunately, for whatever reason, the 49ers are decent, so I get a rock. Thanks. All right. Let's move on here. So during the second round, we talked about which MLB team would be treating their fan base to a World Series championship. Let's see how we did.
Next up, the big dogs of the MLB have officially started play for the 2025 season, with the Dodgers, Tigers, Red Sox, and Cubs all picking up wins yesterday in the first round and their first round wild card games. When it comes to the end of the month, which baseball club will be giving out the best treat this year to their fan base? Jordan, which team will be giving out the best treats?
Well, I'm going to go with my team, my baseball team. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Guardians, all right? Early, you're laughing over there.
I'm going to pick the team that's actually a good team. It's the Mariners.
I think we're forgetting about one of the biggest powerhouses in the NL. We've got to talk about the Philadelphia Phillies here.
Jordan, I'm laughing again.
It's the face I'm making here. All right, well, we're going to run it back here. Nate Fennell, king-sized.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you, man.
You can't win them all.
You can't win them all. It's fine. Okay, I will take this one, though. I do get the fun size pick on this one. That is solely because the Guardians did not make it very far. So, Jordan, you'll be getting the rock. Oh, fun size time. I dropped it. Jordan, did you get your rock?
Didn't the Phillies get swept?
All right, let's move on here to our final take. This is the scariest one of them all. What was the scariest thing that could happen in sports by the end of this month? Let's see if these bone-chilling thoughts came true this month.
Now, if you're a scaredy cat, I would make sure you have a blanket for the next topic, because this one might get a little real and a little spooky. So, what is the scariest thing happening in sports right now? Overall, scariest thing you could see this month. Nate, what do you think?
Well, this one, it's a little odd. You may not care for it. I love it. It's the Texas defense. They are going to be scary good.
What's scaring me is going to be the inevitable fall off of the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay?
The biggest thing going on in sports right now is that Connor McDavid is not signed to a contract.
Breaking news at HQ. Connor McDavid re-signing with the Edmonton Oilers.
Look who's laughing now, Nate.
You know, I hate to say it. Jordan, you were right about the Pittsburgh Steelers fall off.
I hate
you
that.
officially get your win back with your king-size candy bar. You know, Connor McDavid was signed, but it still was pretty scary that for a little bit there he was not. So I will be taking my fun-size one on this one. And unfortunately, Nate Fennell gets his rock. Give Nate Fennell the rock. Oh,
What are we doing here?
So, you know, I don't, it's just unfortunate, you know, it's been a rough time here, but that is going to do it for this week's episode of Spooky Talk in the Burgh. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.